Today is the 22nd of July 2024, and we are looking at quadratic graphs using quadratic equations, which I explained in our last two videos, and this will be our third video. Okay, I couldn't come some few days. That's why it will be good for you to subscribe. Okay. I was going to bring in a graph that would open downward, but I thought I should recap and give you a graph that opens upward. Okay, so watch last video for recap, and then last video we looked at y equals x squared, which opens upward because the x squared, okay, has a positive coefficient, okay, or a positive it's positive. If it were negative, then it would have opened downward. Okay. Today we are going to look at another graph that will open upward. So the x squared, yeah, the x with the power 2, that tells us it's quadratic, will be positive. And then maybe the next video will look at downward graphs. Okay, so instead of bringing you a starter with a different topic, I've just decided to bring the equation. Okay, we'll find the coordinates, and then we'll use the coordinate to plot the graph. So basically our starter will get to complete this table. Now complete the table of y equals 2x squared. Okay, so because of this plus 2, our graph is going to open upward. Okay, it's good you know that, so that in case you miss the coordinates, or you jam up the coordinates and it start opening downward, you can question yourself and quickly correct it. Okay, that is the beautiful thing about maths, because if you know the theory behind something, you can start doing something and you like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to go. Then you can start correcting it, okay, before you hand in your paper, or before you waste time doing something and then use all time to use the appropriate method and still get it wrong. So we are going to complete the table y equals x squared minus 5. Now, because they've asked us to complete the table, we are going to use the table. Okay, but assuming they didn't do that, then we are going to say when they've given us intervals of -2, integers of -2 to 4. Okay, so we could have done when x is -2, what would be y? Okay, and then go through, but we can use the table as well, because in this question they gave us the table and they asked us to complete. Okay, so -2, we want 2x squared, so x squared will be 4, then 2x will be 8, sorry. X squared is 1, 2x squared will be 2. Okay, so x squared is 0, x squared is 1, x squared for x equals 2 is 4, x squared for x equals 3 is 9, x squared for x equals 4 is 16. Now the 2x is just multiplying 2 by all the x squared. So 2x squared will be 2 times everything. So 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 0 times 2 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 9 is 18. And 2 times 16 is 32. Now x squared. So we know what x is. So 5 times x, that one here. Okay, because the equation, the second part is minus 5x. So we are going to do 5 times x. So 5 times x, that one, will be minus 10. 5 times minus 1 is minus 1. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, now 2x squared minus 5. So we need this column, so I've taken it. And we need all these numbers here, so I've taken it. So 2x squared minus 5x. So it will be 8 minus 10, which will be 18. 2 minus 5, which will be 7. 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 5 is minus 3. 8 minus 10 will be minus 2. 18 minus 15 will be 3. 32 minus 20 will be 12. Okay, I guess I have to recheck for minus 1 and 1. So that's what I did here. Okay, algebraically. And it's right. So you don't need to go over that. So our coordinates, okay, that we are going to use is when x is minus 2, y will be 18. When x is minus 1, y will be 7. When x is 0, y will be 0. X is 1, y will be minus 3. Okay, x is 2, y will be minus 2. X is 3, y will be 3. And then x is 4, y will be 4. We know how to plot graph, okay? But since we've not done a video in a while, I'll just do it with you. So when x is minus 2, you use a ruler. Okay, so this is your minus 2. Now let's look at the axis. The highest number for the y is 18. Okay, so on the y-axis there, I've tried to do from 0 to 18, and then minus 6 on the negative axis. Okay, 2 boxes for 2 units. So I have minus 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, up to 18 for the y-axis. On the x-axis, which you've been given the interval from minus 2 to 4, I have minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is the x-axis. In looking at our eye judgment, it appears right. I've given you a title here, a graph of y equals 2x squared minus 5. And then today's date is 22nd of the 7th, 2024. Okay, just for reference. Okay, so now let's plot the graph. When x is minus 2, so you can use the long ruler, y will be 18. So minus 2 here. And then y is 18, so that will be the coordinates. When x is minus 1, y is 7. There. Okay, between 6 and 7. So there. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is minus 3 here. Okay. When x is 2 here, y is minus 2. When x is 3, y is minus 3 here. And when x is 4, y is 12. I just extended the parabola a bit because it is going to be an upward curve. Okay, like you see, that is a turning point. Okay, because it's freehand, it doesn't look a distance that yeah. So this is our graph. Okay, that is our graph here. Okay, a parabola opening upwards, if you can. Okay. Now we are going to use the graph to answer the questions. We know that the graph is opening upwards. Okay, so we'll use the graph to answer question. So first of all, the A, plot the points on the graph which you've done, or the coordinates on the graph paper which you've done. So I've shown you the graph. From the graph, find the values of x for which y has a minimum value. So the minimum value here is our turning point here. There. Okay, so the turning point occurs at 1 and minus 3 because it doesn't go down. From here, it starts going up. That is the character of our graph. Today, the equation y equals 2x squared minus 5. So that's the turning point now. Okay, to 1 minus 3. And then find the values of x when y equals 0. So from the graph, when y is 0, you have a point here, okay, and then you have another point here. So we got, let me show you my work. So from the graph, the values of x, that's the turning point, is y equals -3, which is 1 minus 3. Now for the values of x when y is 0, from the graph is 0 and 2.5. Okay, it depends on how you draw the graph. You can also, assuming you went a bit closer that way, you can also get between 2.4 and 2.5. Okay, because they're asking you to find it from the equation, they wouldn't penalize you if you write um, 2.4. It's like if they ask you to leave it in one decimal place. Okay, so actually, if you do the algebra and you equate the equation to 0, you are going to get x out 2x minus 5. So in your answer sheet, you can just try. You can just try and text this. So you are going to get 0 equals x, 2x minus 5. So x is either 0 or 2x minus 5 is 0. Then x will be 5 over 2. So you can have, when you solve algebra, x will be 0, x will be 2.5. So if you are really smart, you can do that in your head and use that to plot the graph, even though they didn't ask you to do that, so that you can get the accurate points. Okay, so the values of x when y is 0, on the x-axis y is 0, so it can be 0 and 2.5. But assuming your curve is a bit wonky, you can get it going through between 2.4. If you get an answer less than 2.4, or maybe more than 2.6, they might not give it to you. So you should try and be in this range. Okay, so I've written 0 and 2.5, and I've done it algebraically to show you that when y is 0, x will be 0 and 2.5, which is 5 over 2. Okay, so that's why I said check. You don't have to do this. You are supposed to use your graph. And because it's an easy quadratic curve, you can even do this on your head. Okay, but for explanation reason, I just tried to do it for you. And then, even though I use the table method, I was supposed to use the table method. This part of the graph here, okay, didn't look symmetrical to me, so I had to check some of the values. So like when x is I took 2 out. When x is -1, and then I got y will be 7 there, so this is right. And then when x is 1, y will be -3. So this part of the graph is right. Okay. At times, you might not get your graph to be that symmetrical, but you just have to be sure, because graph work, it carries a lot of math. So if you are going to do it, you as well get all the marks. Okay. So this is what I came to show you today. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next